Right. Good evening, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Of course, I'm glad that you're watching a free 24-hour TV, and welcome to our political talk show, a show that comes on your screen every day from 10 p.m. up to midnight. Of course, today there's a lot that has happened. Some are positive, or most of them are positive. Of course, we are going to look at the fuel prices that have been dropped by 7 shillings, and actually they argue that this is the greatest drop that has been experienced over a long period of time. We are also following on the impeachment of the deputy governor of Kisii County. And of course, we are also looking at the dollar. Our Kenyan shillings today gained, and the dollar was exchanging at a rate of around 134 to 135. So the drop is said to be one of the biggest since the one that happened in May 2020. We are going to look at that. And we're not yet done with the story of Joey. You know what happened? Joey was given a death sentence. And of course, in that way, we are also going to look at some of the controversies that are normally experienced by these these media personalities, because you'll find that Joe is not the first one. We are having stories of this founder of Crime Super, or somebody called Peter Uko, the controversy that was there between this lady who was once in KTN, Esther Arunga, Jackie Baribe, Betty Kialo, and all those stories. So keep it here. If you're joining me for the first time, kindly ensure that you subscribe to Afrique 24-hour and you invite your friends so that they can also be able to subscribe. And of course, if you wish to join this conversation, I will be sharing a link on the comment section. So you'll use that link to join the studio so that we can have a conversation. And before we start this conversation, there's something that is happening in the Senate, and I would just like to take you to the Senate so that we can be able to follow up together for some few minutes, then we'll just proceed with our
mashahidi hao, Mheshimiwa Spika, mmoja ni Bilusi ambaye alitoa ushahidi wa kurejesha fedha $100,000 ambazo alikuwa ametumiwa na Bwana Monda na Gladys. Mheshimiwa Spika, hii inaonyesha kwamba kwa Kenya bado tuko ambao wako wa Kenya ambao bado wana imani na utendakazi wao. Mheshimiwa Spika, majuzi OCS mmoja nafikiri kutoka upande wa Isiolo aliweza kurejesha hongo kwa mhusika kwa sababu aliamini kwamba kuachilia jambazi ni makosa na akakataa hongo. Kwa hiyo Mheshimiwa Spika, mashahidi wale ambao walikuwa hapa jana kuthibitisha kwamba pesa zilitumwa na zikarejeshwa wameweza kuthibitisha kwamba
Senator Gloria.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, this is a very, very sad day for Kisii County. And I happen to come from Kisii County. Mr. Speaker, our county is known for positive things, beautiful people, Mr. Speaker. As a matter of fact, our human resource from Kisii County is top-notch. Engineers, doctors, lawyers, you name it, Mr. Speaker. We are known to produce results, Mr. Speaker. So when I say this is a very, very sad day for Kisii County, I mean it, because it is the day that we have been subjected with so much negativity coming from Kisii County, Mr. Speaker. As I stand here, I want to tell my colleagues who have got, Mr. Speaker, we are nominated. So I might not have a vote today, but I have a voice. And Mr. Speaker, for me, it is very clear. Every single time we have had an impeachment motion here, we always say, where is the proof? Where is the evidence? Where is the fact? It is not about the story. It is about the proof and the evidence, Mr. Speaker. So when I looked at the transaction of 100,000 sent to a managing director so that they can give a job, Mr. Speaker, I was saddened because I knew that this is the sword that will bring down the deputy governor, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I don't have much to say. I just want to say this because I know there are senators here who are often known to sit on the fence, who are often known not to take a decision, Mr. Speaker. Today, I want to say to them and to others in the House,
What is your point
the
of order, Senator
hottest
Senator
places in
Oroba.
hell, Mr.
Senator
Speaker.
Gloria Oroba, there's a point of order. Kindly yield. What is your point of order, Senator Mandago?
Mr. Speaker, I'm standing on Standing Order 105, Statement of Facts. Is it in order for Senator Gloria Oroba to impute improper motive that there are senators who sit in the fence in this House? The decision to vote or not to vote is on the individual senator of the House.
Senator Gloria, proceed to withdraw that statement. and
Mr.
apologize
Speaker,
to
I
colleagues.
withdraw and I profusely apologize.
Proceed.
However, I'd like to conclude by saying to people out there that the hottest places in hell are reserved for those who, in times of great moral crisis, they maintain their neutrality. The evidence is there. Everything is there, Mr. Speaker. Let us take our responsibility seriously and make the right call. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Ledama.
Mr. Speaker, these last 2 days, to me, will remain to be the saddest days in the institution of a family in this Republic of Kenya, and particularly the Senate of the Republic of Kenya. It reminds me of 1998, when I was a student in America, and the former president of the United States of America, William Jefferson Clinton family, was the center of the investigation. Where I come from, Mr. Speaker, a family is supposed to be a strong bond that unites all its members, that provides security, that leads people. But, and very unfortunate, we have been invited to be able to come in between a family. I'm so sad, Mr. Speaker, because I've seen a father testifying against a son testifying against a father, and the father roping in the stepmother. Mr. Speaker, what example are we showing to the younger generation? I'm torn in between, Mr. Speaker. Although I believe that in certain circumstances, it is imperative to be able to separate between family ties and integrity. Mr. Speaker, today I'm torn between a hard place and a rock. I've been invited to try and make a decision, to try and argue that whatever was being shown here is a family that has gone bad, that requires prayers. I want to invite you, my brothers and sisters, for the integrity of the family, to vote consciously and to remember that in certain circumstances, to be able to preserve the rule of law, you have to make those hard choices. I pray for the community of Kenyans who live in Kisii, that when their sons and daughters retrieve back and go after this event today, they can be able to reflect on the institution of a family. It is imperative, Mr. Speaker. I conclude by saying, although I've witnessed something that I never thought I would witness in my life, as I sit there, I remember 1998. I'd hoped that I would never see that in the history of Kenya. But because I've been invited to sit, I'll make a conscious decision.
Senator Wambua.
So when that you turn. I thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, Chapter 6 of the Constitution of Kenya 2010 requires that public officers, public servants, state officers must bring honor and dignity to the nation
and dignity to their offices. I will leave it to the conscience of the nation, Mr. Speaker, to judge whether or not the behavior and body language of the Deputy Governor of Kisii is fit for him to hold any public office. The Speaker, the Deputy Governor of Kisii has not just lied on oath and on record. He is at the center of a conspiracy to lie to the Senate for purposes of just exonerating himself from blame. Him and his co-conspirator must have a very dim view of the collective basic intelligence of the Senate. The Speaker, the easiest way out for the DG would have been to simply apologize to his brother. Simply fix the mess that he has put one Dennis and one Lucy in. We will not be here at midnight discussing his character. The Speaker, in the interest of time, I have to mention this. The key witness in defense of the DG has broken the hearts of millions of fathers and sons in the country. I want to take this opportunity as Speaker to assure my son Emmanuel that if I am ever to put him in any mess, I will stand with him. It is a shame for a father to put a son in trouble and take a position against his own son. This is not a trivial matter. This is a serious matter. We must fix the mess in Kisii, and the Speaker, for and on behalf of the great people of Kitui County, I will stand to be counted to fix the mess in Kisii County. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Newton.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I want to be very brief. Mr. Speaker, the allegation that poor parents and poor students in Kisii County are taken advantage of, Mr. Speaker, where they are required to give bribes in order for them to be awarded bursaries, Mr. Speaker, is not something peculiar with Kisii. This is something that is happening across the counties and across the constituencies, Mr. Speaker, where we have a very desperate students failing to secure a bursary, while some able people who can be able to produce bribes, Mr. Speaker, benefit from these bursaries. For that reason, Mr. Speaker, I think I will stand with the poor that seek bursaries but do not get them, because those that can influence get bursaries, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, we all have siblings at home. Some of them may not be as endowed as we are, Mr. Speaker. We cannot, Mr. Speaker, I was touched by the matter of a brother cutting down some trees, Mr. Speaker. Probably he did. Probably he was not right. Probably they were not his trees. But what is the value of some trees, Mr. Speaker, to a person holding the seat of deputy governor? Somebody elected 2 times, a long-serving vet, Mr. Speaker. I think if I was in that position, I would have just let the matter go and in fact decided that he's my brother anyway. His problems are my problems, Mr. Speaker. So, but the triviality expressed in that particular instance, Mr. Speaker, and the show of might, many county enforcement officers, Mr. Speaker, and the police, just to arrest one man in order for somebody to show that they have a lot of might, Mr. Speaker. And I think that is abuse of office. Mr. Speaker, one thing that also did not go down well with me is that somebody, even after taking a bribe of about 500,000 Kenya shillings or 800,000 Kenya shillings, Mr. Speaker, I may not want to say that it is good to share out the spoils, but how could the deputy governor extend to Lucy only 100,000, surely? Even if we were going to say that the bribery in this particular case was going to be allowed, 100,000 out of 800,000, Mr.
Senator Wamatinga.
Thank you.
Order, honorable senators. May
thank you very
Senator
much.
Wamatinga be heard in silence, please.
As I rise up, Mr. Speaker, I would want to pose a question to the House. What is the purpose of gaining the whole world and losing your soul? Mr. Speaker, sir, we listened, we watched, we walked along the evidence that was used in this House. Mr. Speaker, sir, we watched the father and son tear each other apart, Mr. Speaker. It was a painful experience, Mr. Speaker. And for those of us who fathers, who have daughters and sons, that we believe that we want to nurture them to become somebody in this world, I want to speak to all the youth in this country that indeed we're going to make things right so that you'll get opportunities regardless of where you've been born. Mr. Speaker, sir, I stand up here and tell the youth, this country belongs to everybody who dares believe in himself. Mr. Speaker, sir, just after the last general elections, I was one of those who believed that the fact that the president and the deputy president come from humble background is indeed a proof that anybody who dares believe has the destiny in his hands. Mr. Speaker, sir, that shattered the glass ceiling. It broke the myth that this country can only belong to those who are born in families of who's who. Mr. Speaker, sir, it is my belief, and I want to walk with my head high, knowing that every youth in this country will have an opportunity. And my challenge to us all, Mr. Speaker, we must make it right. We must provide an opportunity, regardless of the community, of the family background, or where you've gone to school, or where you've been raised. Mr. Speaker, sir, for that alone, I want to urge all the senators, all the delegates in this House to vote in a way that they'll affirm the fact that anybody in this country, regardless of you can afford the 800,000 or not, you get an opportunity to move ahead and to make a good, decent living. Mr. Speaker, sir, what kind of leaders would we be if we are the ones who will be extorting bribes? 800,000, Mr. Speaker, sir. For some of us, it feels so painful because we know the pain of trying to get where we are, Mr. Speaker. And if we were not given the opportunity, Mr. Speaker, we will not be where we are. And therefore, Mr. Speaker, sir, we would want to give that opportunity to anybody who would want to get there, regardless of where they come from. Mr. Speaker, sir, as I sit down, it is indeed the responsibility of this House to ensure that we inspire our youth, we give them hope, and we actually tell them this country belongs to you if you dare dream. Mr. Speaker, sir, moving forward, I think that the Devolution Committee must get to work so that we never again witness the kind of unfolding that we witnessed, Mr. Speaker. It is very demeaning, it is very humiliating to watch parents and children tear each other apart. Mr. Speaker, sir, I believe with the
Senator Hamida.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I stand here and I'm so saddened on this day. Mr. Speaker, we had a woman miscarried, a woman who has been looking for a baby for over 12 years, lost a child. Her dream was shattered. As a mental health champion, I'm wondering, where is justice? Where can they find justice, the family? It can only be gotten here. I know, Mr. Speaker, today, the two, Mr. Dennis and his wife, will find justice at the Senate on behalf of the women senators. in this House, I request my colleagues to vote wisely. I want to remind them, justice delayed is justice denied. That woman, where is her mental health? Where is she going to go? Has her dream been shattered? I request my colleagues, vote wisely. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Tabitha Mutinda. Senator Tabitha Karanja. Order. Honorable Senator.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. Family is the backbone of society. If family is broken, is destroyed, we destroy the society. Today we witnessed the worst family division. For me, it's my first time I've seen a dad witnessing against a son. I know a son can sell his dad, but a dad can never sell his son. The biggest mistake that Deputy Governor made, he may have made many other mistakes, but the biggest one he'll have made in his life, it is to bring a father to witness against the dad. I'm not a prophet, but this may cause your impeachment. But going forward, ensure when the dust settles, ensure you go, unite those two families, bring them back where they were, and ensure you return that money for your peace. Because wherever you are, all what we need is peace. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. I'm a woman of few words. Thank you.
Senator Mogeni. Senator Mogeni.
Mr. Speaker, sir, it's been a painful experience sitting through this impeachment inquiry, more so as a son who lost a parent at an early age. Mr. Speaker, with a heavy heart, I sat and witnessed the evidence of Senior Joseph Misati taking the bold step of disowning his own son in the view of cameras, in the eyes of the Omogusi people. Mr. Speaker, I cannot overstate the solemnness I feel as I prepare to cast my vote on behalf of the people of Nyamira. Mr. Speaker, sir, I've gone through a lot of reflection and second guessing, but I've made the decision, Mr. Speaker, that tonight I stand with the boy child of the Republic of Kenya, Mr. Speaker. Tonight, Mr. Speaker, the one vote that I carry from the county of Nyamira, Mr. Speaker, will be to sympathize with a boy child who has had the misfortune of losing his mother, but who has also been subjected to an episode where he has been disowned by his father in the view of all Kenyans. Tonight, Mr. Speaker, I cast my vote in support and standing with the many youths who are jobless, but who may never get their job because they are being asked to pay a bribe. Mr. Speaker, tonight, I will cast my vote with passion, reason, and without fear, while knowing, Mr. Speaker, that the Constitution that we enacted as the people of Kenya wants Kenyans of integrity, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, as I conclude, Mr. Speaker, I hope that the decision that this Senate is going to take will be a moment of reflection for two Kenyans. Mr. Robert Monda, the governor of Kisii, and Joseph Misati, the father of Dennis Misati. As you go back to the hills of Gusii Nation, take a reflection that family is more important than the positions that we hold in this republic. I close my submissions.
Senator Wafula.
Mheshimiwa Spika, nashukuru sana kwa nafasi hii. Ninapotazama mbele yangu Mheshimiwa Spika, ni Wakenya ambao wanatutazama, vijana ambao kwa siku nyingi wamekuwa wanatafuta ajira, na wao, nikizungumza na maseneta wenzangu, vijana wengi huja katika maeneo yetu ya makazi na ofisi kutafuta kazi. Lile ambalo naibu wa gavana amepitia leo ni kwamba baba aliambatana na mwanawe kutafuta kazi. Tunapopiga kura leo na Wakenya wanapotazama, hizi ndizo changamoto viongozi hupitia kuwatafutia kazi. Kuna wale viongozi ambao ni fisi wamevaa ngozi za kondoo, na kuna wale viongozi ambao hufanya kazi. Mheshimiwa Spika, yale ambayo pia nimeona hapa Mheshimiwa Spika, japo kuna wale watapona kwamba naibu gavana alitoa shilingi 1,100, lakini wale tunajua siasa za kaunti, Mheshimiwa Spika, baadhi ya viongozi hupata asilimia fulani wa mgao wa hongo zinazotoka, na naomba idara za serikali ziwachunguze wale ambao huenda wataepuka. Huenda walirudisha pesa hizi kwa sababu kitita hakikuja jinsi walivyokubaliana. Sasa lazima baada ya hapa tuamulike hao watu. Huenda wanaponyoka, lakini lazima tuwanase. Mheshimiwa Spika, kaunti zetu zinatokota na ufisadi. Nimeona pale ma MCA wakilalamika walinyolewa, ni sawa. Nimeona baadhi ya viongozi wale wa ulinda usalama katika kaunti kwamba walichukuliwa kufanya kazi, ni sawa. Lakini kama jumba la Senate lazima tuwaendee hao majamaa, kwa sababu makachero wa kaunti hawezi kuwa walifanya kazi kupitia Roho Mtakatifu. Haiwezekani, lazima walitumwa, na kama si naibu wa gavana kuna mtu aliwatuma, lazima wakamatwe. So Mheshimiwa Spika, kwa niaba ya vijana wa nchi ya Kenya, wana haki ya kazi, wana haki ya mshahara, wana haki ya kuoa mabibi wazuri, kuzaa watoto wengi. Ni haki ya serikali kuhakikisha. Mimi ni mfuasi wa Solomoni, Mheshimiwa Spika. Leo kura itakayopigwa ni kutetea ugatuzi, kutetea yeyote ambaye anatafuta ajira popote Kenya hii. Na vile vile Mheshimiwa Spika, siasa imejadiliwa. Lazima tutaangalia mustakabali wa magavana na manaibu wao. Isiwe kwamba
Senator Ali Roba.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. As the charges were read in this House by yourself, Mr. Speaker, the last 2 days, I was extremely eager to get to find out the answers to the question of the exchange of money, 800,000, between the governor and Joseph Musati and Dennis Makoya Musati. Because the substance of this case is that issue. And I've listened to Joseph Musati, a witness presented by the deputy governor, ridicule this house by circumnavigating direct questions that could have been simply answered by factual information. I wanted to find out how coincidental is it that on these fateful 2 days, Mr. Joseph Musati sent some money to the deputy governor, and some money was sent to Dennis Makoya to send the same money to the deputy governor. And then the deputy governor, he said incidentally, by accident, sent 100,000 to the employing agency, Lucy Wahito, And then in the whole process that has taken shape and the evidence that was, presented before this house, I was extremely desperate as the Senate to say, letting a deputy governor go should not be an easy thing. I wanted to really find out the defense that should be put across with evidence of that coincidental nature of all these things taking shape. But I didn't find any answers to that question. And for the protection of what has happened, of a father who allegedly was trying to help a child get a job, but turns up to be a witness against the same child, I really want to persuade this Senate to send the deputy governor home. In the interest of protecting the youth, I've been a governor for 10 years and never, ever allowed my county public service board to take 10 shillings to employ anybody. Now, for 800,000 shillings to change hands for a small position. And then the answers that were supposed to be given was a ridicule to the House of trying to criminalize the young man whose desperate position has pushed him to the level.
Senator Richard Onyonka.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I am standing here as if we were in another jurisdiction, I would be the standing senator. The prosecuting senator. Mr. Speaker, as the senator of Kisii County, this is a very, very deep, sad day for me. I have constantly raised issues about the governance issues in Kisii. I have frequently engaged church leaders. I have talked both with Dr. Monda and Governor Arati. These two gentlemen, it's me who looked for them and told them we can go and win an election. After that, things didn't work well. The issues you see in this house are a consequence of the failure of Kisii County. This matter would never have come here. As a person from the Kisii community, I feel completely humiliated that by people can come here as families and fight over bribes and fight over cutting of trees. When my county has got 16 billion shillings every year, and my recurrent expenditure is at 7%, and my development expenditure is at 3%. Those are the issues that we have. I have constantly talked with Governor Arati. We're actually beginning to talk and agree how we can call each other. One of the things I asked him to do is make a recommendation so that Dr. Monda cannot be impeached. Because at the end of this, you don't solve them unless we look for a way on how we can solve the problem. Dr. Monda was with me in this house, and Arati was in this house with me. I feel really let down. To my sister from Kisii, so machine down there, it has 3 buttons. What does it say? One, it says yes, and the other one says no. The third one says abstain. There's a reason why that has been put there. So on this vote, I will abstain. Thank you.
At this juncture, I'll call upon the mover to reply.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I reply.
Now, honorable senators, before we move to take the vote, I will give an opportunity to the deputy governor so that he can make his final remarks to the Senate. Deputy Governor, you have 10 minutes. You may elect to use them, or you may sit and allow the Senate to proceed to vote.
In concurrence with what my of Kisii, the Honorable Senator Onyonga, that we have gone through challenges in Kisii, Mr. Speaker, and prompting my being present here for impeachment. Mr. Speaker, as the House makes determination, I will repeat what I said earlier, that for the kind of scenery that this House was put through yesterday and today, as a person, I am embarrassed and utterly unhappy about the situation that we are in. Coming to the House, Mr. Speaker, to discuss issues of my own family. I'm not born alone, Mr. Speaker. I'm born among many brothers and my father is alive. The scenario you were taken through yesterday by my second follower brother is simply a reflection of what is transpiring in the family, and it all emanates from the politics we are all in. That after the elections of last year but one, the end of the elections did not end in the family. We had to be split into two groups, one that supported my candidature and the other that did not. And so I've stood before you, Honorable Speaker, Honorable Senators, that what you've been taken through is only a reflection of what is happening back out there. What you have seen the family of Mr. Misati go through, and I want to make it clear here, Mr. Speaker, is associated with the same split in my family along political lines and the way we are divided. And so that did not come out here in our evidence, but it is the scenario, and I want to make it clear as you move to the next level. I've said it's an embarrassment as a member of parliament in the 10th parliament also, that I'm here this particular time on a matter that I still call a fabrication to settle political scores of the past. Mr. Speaker, I have been here as a member of this parliament and currently as the governor of Kisii. Mr. Speaker, I am known by many people of the Kisii County, Gusii, and the rest of the country that my character, my behavior will not be of the level that has been brought to this Senate. the effort that has been put within very few days, Mr. Speaker, that this impeachment comes to this level. There has been a back and forth effort that has also looped in the senator of Kisii, the religious organizations and the bishops, pastors. And Mr. Speaker, this did not see the light of the day. I want to say, honorable senators, Mr. Speaker, that as I wind up, I've heard your comments, honorable senators, and I'll do my effort to talk to the families that are affected, despite the fact or the outcome of the decision of this House. Talk to them and see what becomes of it. Mr. Speaker, I do not want to go beyond there. I want to thank you for granting us a chance to present our case before you. And where those of us, including myself as the accused, have fallen below the expectation of this country, I want to say to this House, the Senate, I tender my apologies for this scenario that we have gone through in this House, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, as I close, as a Christian, I also pray to my God where I've wronged anyone and all those that have wronged in the line of duty. Mr. Speaker, I'll tender my regrets and prayers to my God to see me come out of this kind of picture. As I get old, my effort was that as I go to the Kisii County government, Mr. Speaker, I get to a level of service to the Kisii people where my legacy as we head to retirement from politics will leave me with a tag that will be above reproach. I want to leave it there, thanking you, Mr. Speaker, the Senate, honorable senators, and everyone who has been in this, without leaving behind the councils, team of councils who have stood with me and those who stood with the county government, county assembly of Kisii, and everyone who has given us support in this House, Mr. Speaker. I thank you.
Now, honorable senators, I will proceed to guide you on the procedure by which the vote on this motion shall be undertaken. Number one, pursuant to Article 123 of the Constitution and Standing Order 85 of the Senate Standing Orders, the voting on this motion shall be by delegation. Two, we shall vote by electronic voting, but in addition, I shall allow senators who are attending the session virtually also to vote, but their vote shall be by voice. Third, we shall have a separate vote for each of the 4 charges. At this juncture, therefore, honorable senators, I will direct that the division bell be rung for 5 minutes. The chair has directed 5 minutes.
Ladies and gentlemen, yeah, what is currently taking place in the Senate is they're having 5 minutes so that they can bring the House into order. Then they start voting. And as the Speaker have said that the voting is going to be done by delegation, that doesn't simply mean the nominated senators like Oroba, any nominated senator is not going to participate in the voting. Then the voting is going to be electronic. And of course, there are some senators who did not attend who are following virtually, maybe via Zoom or such kind of things. With them, they're also going to vote by voice, like they'll have to say, I vote yes, I abstain, or I vote no. And each and every charge is going to be voted separately. If maybe you didn't know, in this case that was presented by the Kisii County Assembly, Dr. Monda was accused or is facing 4 charges. The first charge is gross violation of the Constitution. The second charge is abuse of office. Third charge is gross misconduct. And the fourth charge is crimes under the national law. So they're going to vote separately. They'll start maybe, for example, voting for violation of a constitution. Then after that, they vote for abuse of office. But what happens is that if they find him maybe culpable of any of the charges, then he will stand impeached. For example, if they don't they give him a green light in 3 charges, but 1 charge they find that okay, with this one he did a mistake, then that automatically allows him to go home. Any of the charges, it doesn't mean that all the charges should be positively voted for him to be impeached, but at any, even if it is 1 and the remaining 3 are negatively voted, then he stands impeached. But as things go, I don't think Monda is going to survive. The way the senators who've spoken, they've spoken emotionally. So let us wait. But I see Monda being impeached. So karibu sana, I can see Saramai Nyauge. Is this Nyaugen? Nyaugen, welcome. This is a new member. Yeah? It's good that you've subscribe to be a new member. That is at Mtembei TV. But I also request you subscribe at a Freak 24 TV. In a Freak, you don't need to pay. It is not paid up. You only need to subscribe and turn on the notification bell. Then you become a member. Thank you very much for your support. So, ladies and gentlemen, we are just following up on this. And from that, we're going to initiate our debate. Of course, we are having a lot of things that we need to discuss today. Like, you know, today the president was somewhere in Kericho, and over there, he predicted and told the people of Kericho that you see what is going to happen today. We are going to have like a drop in the fuel prices. And true to his words, though it was predicted, the prices of fuel has dropped by 7 shillings. So some people argue that, okay, that is the highest drop since May 2023.
Honorable Senators,
Some people also saying that, you see, no, that is not what celebration, because they're claiming that this thing was raised to 70. So when you drop it to 7, it is like a drop of water in the sea or in an ocean. So let us get back to the Senate and see how voting is taking place. Then we are going to continue. So if you're not subscribed to Freak 24, ensure that you subscribe to Freak, because we are here to ensure that we connect you with African stories.
all the honorable senators, kindly let us take our seats. Majority Leader, take your seat. Senator for Kiambu.
The senators are just organizing themselves, ready to take a vote. Then We'll see.
Now, honorable senators, I will now proceed to put,
Of course, you're also going to bring this story.
before I put the question, I will direct the sergeant at arms
We also
to
have
close the doors
this.
and draw the bar. Now, honorable senators, I will proceed to put the question, which is that whereas pursuant to Article 181 of the Constitution and Section 33 of the County Government Act, on Thursday, the 29th of February 2024, the Kisii County Assembly approved a motion to remove from office by impeachment Honorable Dr. Robert Monda, the Deputy Governor of Kisii County. And further, whereas by a letter dated the 1st of March 2024 and received in the office of the Speaker of the Senate on Saturday, 2nd March 2024, the Speaker of the Kisii County Assembly informed the Speaker of the Senate of the approval of the motion by the County Assembly and further forwarded to the Speaker of the Senate documents in evidence of the proceedings of the County Assembly. Further, whereas pursuant to Article 181 of the Constitution, Section 33 of the County Government Act, and Standing Order 80 of the Senate heard the County Assembly on the grounds for the proposed removal from office by impeachment of Honorable Dr. Robert Monda, the Deputy Governor of Kisii County. And further, whereas pursuant to Article 181 of the Constitution, Section 33 of the County Government Act, and Standing Order number 80, the Senate also had the Honorable Dr. Robert Monda on the grounds for his proposed removal from office by impeachment as the Deputy Governor of Kisii County. Now, therefore, pursuant to Article 181 of the Constitution, Section 33 of the County Government Act, and Standing Order 80, the Senate resolved to remove from office by impeachment the Honorable Dr. Robert Monda, the Deputy Governor of Kisii County, on the following charges. Charge 1, gross violation of the Constitution or any other law. Charge number 2, abuse of office. Charge number 3, gross misconduct. And charge number 4, crimes under national law. I want to remind honorable senators that there shall be a separate vote for each charge. So you're going to vote 4 times. Voting is going to be electronically. So at this juncture, I will ask honorable senators to log out. Log out by pulling out all your cards from the delegate units. And Sergeant at Arms, kindly go round. And pick the cards remaining in the delegate units. Sergeant at Arms. If you're done with that exercise, kindly let me know. Senator Karungo, you're out of order. And if you insist, the consequences will naturally flow. Honorable senators, you may now log back. You may now log back and vote on charge 1, which is gross violation of the Constitution or any other law. You may now proceed to vote on that particular charge. Clerk, do we have the honorable senators who had expressed their desire to vote online? There being no senator online for purposes of voting on account of charge one, we can now proceed to verify the vote on account of charge one. Honorable senators will move to the second vote, which is on charge number 2, abuse of office. You may proceed to vote. Clerk, do we have any senator wishing to vote online? We don't have. Then proceed to verify the results on charge number 2. Now, honorable senators will take the third vote. That is on charge number 3, gross misconduct. Honorable senators, proceed to vote. Clerk, is there any senator who's expressed their desire to vote online? Proceed to verify the results. Honorable senators will now take the final vote, the fourth charge, crimes under national law. Clerk, is there a senator who's expressed the desire to vote online on this charge? Then proceed to verify the results. Order, honorable senators. Senator Chirangai, take your seat, please. Now, honorable senators, the result of the vote on the impeachment motion on Dr. Robert Monda, the Deputy Governor of Kisii County, is as follows. Charge number 1, gross violation of the Constitution and any other law. The ayes, 39. The nays, 3. Abstention, 1. So the ayes have it. Charge number 2, abuse of office. The ayes, 39. Nays, 3. Abstention, 1. Again, the ayes have it. Charge number 3, gross misconduct. The ayes, 35. Nays, 7. Abstention, 1. The ayes have it. Charge number 4, crimes under national law. The ayes are 32. Nays are 10. Abstention at 1. So ayes have it. Now, honorable senators, Section 33(7) of the County Governments Act provide as follows. If a majority of all the members of the Senate vote to uphold an impeachment charge, the Deputy Governor shall cease to hold office. Honorable senators, the result of the divisions indicate that the Senate has upheld the following impeachment charges. Charge number 1, gross violation of the Constitution and any other law. Charge number 2, abuse of office. charge number 3, gross misconduct, and charge number 4, crimes under national law. Now, honorable senators, pursuant to Article 181 of the Constitution, Section 33(7) of the County Governments Act, and the Standing Order 86 of the Senate Standing Orders, the Senate has resolved to remove from office by impeachment Honorable Dr. Robert Monda, the Deputy Governor of Kisii County, and the Deputy Governor therefore ceases to hold office forthwith. I thank you. You may, Sergeant at Arms, you may now proceed to withdraw the bar and open the doors. And honorable senators, kindly be upstanding. Honorable senators, it is now midnight. And having concluded business listed in the order paper of the day, the Senate therefore stands adjourned until Tuesday, the 19th of March, 2024 at 2:30 p.m. I thank you, honorable senators.
That marks the end of the impeachment hearing.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, that one marks the impeachment of the Kisii Deputy Governor, that is Dr. Monda. It's been a hearing that has taken time. It's a hearing that people started hearing yesterday up to midnight, and today at exactly midnight, the job is finished. So Kisii Deputy Governor stands impeached, or in other words, the Senate confirms the impeachment of Kisii Deputy Governor. This is after the Deputy Governor have been found guilty of all the 4 charges that were presented by the Kisii County Assembly. And the first charge that he faced was gross violation of the Constitution. That one has been confirmed. Abuse of office have been confirmed. Gross misconduct confirmed, and crimes under the national law. So all this has been confirmed. And it now stands that the deputy governor has been impeached. So I don't know what is your take over there. It's a process that really took time. At midnight, people did not sleep, and the senators again were on it. So 2 busy days until they came into a conclusion that the deputy governor stands impeached. I remember all the charges have been voted for separately. Each and every charge has been voted separately, and all the 4 have been confirmed by majority. So that is the breaking news that we're having currently. So I can see Good Day is already there. Welcome, Saramai Nyugen, karibu sana. You can see Nyugen is a new member. That is great. He's a paid up member. So you can also be a new member, so that whenever you're typing, yours can be highlighted the way I'm seeing Nyugen's being highlighted. So the deputy governor, Kisii, stands impeached. So we know what is the next step. That one means Simba Arati will have to get a new deputy governor. So this one happened after, you know, the Kisii deputy governor was impeached by 53 MCAs, and only 15 voted to save him. That is about out of the 68 members who are present in the chamber. So maybe I can just take you back to where it all began, where this impeachment story or impeachment process began. This is a process that began at the Kisii County Assembly when 58 out of 68 voted to impeach Dr. Robert Monda, and this impeachment has been upheld or has been confirmed by the Senate today. So he stands impeached. Look at this.
Governor was impeached on grounds of abuse of office as well as bribery. The impeachment motion was moved by Ichuni Ward MCA Wycliffe Siocha. The motion was approved by 53 MCAs compared to 15 who voted against it. Monda, who appeared before the county assembly today, denied all the allegations leveled against him. County Assembly Speaker Philip Nyanumba, who read the results, said the assembly achieved the two-thirds rule of impeaching the DG.
I now declare that the Deputy Governor of Kisii County Government, His Excellency Honorable Dr. Robert Monda, has been removed from office by the Kisii County Assembly by way of impeachment. Honorable members, given the fact that the two-third threshold is for 7 members, and the yes has got 53. Therefore, this means the threshold of removing the DG by way of impeachment.
Where we come from is to say that there were very serious legal defects in the motion. It was moved out of time. The format requiring details to be supplied at the time of moving the motion was not available. The allegations being that the issues were in the hands of the police and the EACC, and that we should have awaited their investigations before bringing the issue to the assembly. All those were ignored.
Kenyans have been encouraged to invest in savings and credit.
Guys, that is where it all began. That is where it all began. And maybe just to take you back to how this thing, how it ended up like in the Senate and some of the things that happened in Senate, I think it will be interesting for those people who did not get time to follow it. I'll just take you through the kind of the motion, the kind of the heated debate that was there. It was so emotional. Your brother testifying against you, your son is also testifying against you. So finally, a decision has been made, and we say that the Kisii deputy governor stands impeached. So away from that, the president was in Kericho. The president was in Kericho where he promised that the price of fuel is going to go down. And of course, when EPRA were announcing the prices today, they were making the monthly adjustments. Kenyans for sure were able to see these reflected. I just want to show you some of the new prices that were announced so that you can be able to know. Is it? I'll get it and I'll show you some of the new fuel prices that were announced today. And Kenyans, okay, get it now.
This afternoon. There are 2 or about 3 more witnesses.
Oh, the price of super petrol actually have been reduced by 7 shillings. And that is argued to be the highest. But some people are saying that, you cannot say it is the highest because when President William Ruto took power, it was way below that. So look at
later reduced the price of super petrol by 7 shillings 21 cents per litre, and it will now retail at 199 shillings 15 cents in Nairobi. A litre of diesel will retail at 190 shillings 30 cents after the price of the commodity dropped by 5 shillings and 9 cents per litre. Kerosene users will now spend 4 shillings 49 cents less to buy a litre of the commodity at 188 shillings 74 cents. The review marks the biggest drop month on month since May 2020.
So that's the reduction that has happened. Maybe another story that we're also going to look at is this issue of land grabbing. You had that after Margaret Wanjiru. The next was Anganga. Anganga today said that this land is mine. So we also need to look at that. It is one of the trending stories when it comes to
The
land grabbing.
Corruption Commission on claims that they belong to the Kenya Railways Corporation.
While appearing before the National Assembly's Departmental Committee on Lands, televangelist James Ng'ang'a narrated how he acquired the disputed land from Kenya Finance Bank through the Central Bank of Kenya 20 years ago.
Basi Mungu akaniambia nitoke Mombasa nikuje Nairobi. Nikawa nahubiri kule Ngala, nikaja nikakodeshwa kwa kiwanja kadogo hapo. 2004 kabao kakawekwa hapo for sale. Tukakaa nikafuata hiyo namba, nikaenda Central Bank. Nikapewa wale watu ambao wanahusika na hiyo plot. Tukaanza kuongea na wao. Wakaniuzia 32 million. Nilipe 10%, alafu zingine nilipe 90 days. Nikaenda kwa Equity, tuka-agree na wao, na nikalipa hiyo 10%. All of a sudden, wakaregesha tena kwa tenda. Nikaiona kwa Kenya Gazette. Tukaenda tuka-apply tena. Wakasema unless now you pay 42 million. Tukasign hiyo agreement, nikaenda kwa benki ya Equity. Wakanilipia hiyo title. Nikaanza kulipa 2008 somewhere there, ndio nilimaliza loan. Nikapewa title kwa jina la Neno Evangelism Center.
The televangelist informing the parliamentary watchdog that he only knew that the land was in dispute in the year 2020 after he was summoned by the former Transport Cabinet Secretary James Macharia and former Nairobi Metropolitan Service Director Mohamed Badi to clear the air on the matter.
Wakaniuliza, Apostle, hii pro tulitoa wapi? Ulipewa na Bishop Margaret? Nikamwambia hapana. Do you have papers? Yes. Nikatoa papers hizo zote nikawekelea hapo.
EACC is prosecuting 4 lawsuits in the Environmental and Land Court in Nairobi against private entities and former commissioners of land for the recovery of 5 parcels of land situated at the intersection of Nairobi's Haile Selassie Avenue and Uhuru Highway, whose total value is 1.6 billion shillings. The Parliamentary Lands Committee gave the preacher 14 days to submit all supporting documents for ownership of the contested property.
Oh, yes, that is also interesting story over there. The government now wants to reclaim all the land that has been grabbed. You know, most of the land in Nairobi are in the hands of land grabbers. So Pastor Ng'ang'a is also there to, you've been given 14 days to prove that the land belongs to him. The other day you saw what happened to the glories here. That is for the former Sarai MP and the former Assistant Minister for Housing, Margaret Wanjiru, and also the former gubernatorial candidate and former senatorial candidate, UDS senatorial candidate, Margaret Wanjiru. So we don't know if the government will manage this war against the cartels who've taken land in Nairobi. So top one of our stories, what we're looking today is that Ruto wins Kenyans back, and he's now slowly winning the hearts of Kenyans. This is after dropping the price of oil, the cost of gas and the electricity. And our dollar is also doing well in, so not our dollar, but our shilling is also doing well. Our shilling also gained today. It was from around 134 to 135. So people are seeing that there is a sign, there are some signs of good things ahead. So does this one translate that Ruto is now winning, winning souls of those people who maybe already gave up on his promises and are like, the bottoms up economic model is not working? And there are so many people behind this. There's so many people behind this. And like today, they also announced that the electricity prices are also dropping. each and every month, and they're projecting that it's going to drop big. So it's among the things that we're looking at. If the electricity price is dropping, the cost of fuel is dropping, the shilling is also gaining against the dollar, and they're saying that the cost of living they're also managing by subsidizing fertilizer and such kind of things. Does this one translate to Ruto winning? And of course, we will also I just need to know what is your view on this. How do you view this thing? How do you view it? Yeah, do you see Ruto winning confidence or getting confidence of people? Is he getting people back? Uh, and people now start believing that this economic model is working. So it's up to you. You can let me know in the comment section there so that I can be able to know your feeling on this. Of course, we are also going to weigh on the possibility of the president pardoning Joey. Remember, the president has got the power to pardon such kind of people. So is he going to appeal, or he's going to pray that he gets a presidential pardon so that he doesn't serve the life sentence that was slapped on him on the previous judgment? And of course, the greatest story now is the impeachment of the deputy governor of Kisii. So the deputy governor of Kisii stands impeached, and he no longer hold the office from today. That is after all the 4 charges that were taken against him by the Kisii County Assembly have been confirmed by the Senate. The Senate has confirmed that, okay, all these things that you're saying are true, and now the deputy governor stands impeached. Apart from that, ladies and gentlemen, today the president was in Kericho, where he went on a development tour. He was heavily received there, but still, again, there are people who were not in good terms with their, how do you call it? There are people who are not in good terms with their governor, and they caused some chaos as they went there and heckled the governor and such kind of things. I don't know when Kenyans are going to stop this politics of heckling and these kind of bad politics of heckling and disrupting meetings. Some youths almost disrupted the president's meeting simply because they did not agree with their governor. But the president had a successful tour over there where he promised Kenyans that he will continue implementing his bottom-up economic model. So you can have a look at how Kapsurer, so Stuart Kapsurer was. I don't know where Kenyans got this bad character of how do you call it? Heckling. Eh? I don't know where Kenyans got this thing, where people keep on people keep on heckling the people that they don't like. I don't know where Kenyans got this kind of character, because it stood out and it almost disrupted the president's meeting in Kericho. But all in all, the president promised that he's going to deliver on the promises that he gave Kenyans. So if you're joining for the first time, kindly ensure that you subscribe to this channel. That is a free 24-hour, and you turn on the notification bell so that whenever we are live, we will always try to notify you.